Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday Live. My name is Ashley Hay. I'm a mixed media artist and also the importer of Powertex art supplies for Australia. So I love creating textured art. So texture is definitely my thing. I love working outside of the square, and over the last few weeks, we've been playing with making a seahorse. So I am going to show you more today about how you can add elements and also just really work some more details into your sculptures using Powertex art supplies. So of course, over the time, we've been using Easy 3D Flex, which has created some of these beautiful textures, and it's also made the form really, really durable. So it is a lot of fun to play with. And today I'm going to talk about adding various elements. So I'm going to talk about these elements, and also I have obviously created a bit of a face here. I would like to put some more details onto that, but that is just then adding a little bit more texture in exactly the same way as what I'm going to show you today. And next week, I will do the reveal on the finished seahorse and how he actually looks, and just talk you through some of those finishes. So that is what we are doing today. So if you are here, please drop in and let me know that you're watching. And I always love to see where you're from. And of course, the idea of Friday Live is to inspire you to create something, whether it's a seahorse or something else, over the weekend. So that's my hope, is that it inspires you to creativity. And I am going to be doing a little bit of a demo, of course, again today. So welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're watching in replay as well, please let me know too, because that would be fabulous. Hey, Anne, lovely to see you. Happy Friday Live to you too. A bit of Friday Live fun to kick the weekend off. And so Anne is from Canada. So, of course, let's get cracking. So I did have a soft cloth underneath him. I actually attached these seaweed bits yesterday. And so the 3D Flex was still a little bit damp. And so it has, because it was leaning on it, it has created a little bit of a wobble. But what I can do is, if that continues, I can just plug it up a little bit with some stone art, which won't move at all and will set like a rock. So the trick is, sometimes if you have 3-dimension where, when you lie it down, it's not going to be flat, is to just suspend that. So I have been doing that quite a bit in the drying process. So some of what I've been doing is I've got these little dishes. So you're getting a little tip here. So I've got these little dishes that I have been just putting underneath the seahorse as he dries, just so that he's not lying flat on the table. And so today I thought, he needs a little bit of a pillow, because I'm going to do the other side of his face and show you how I've actually done this side. So exciting times. So before I show you how to do the face and the eye, I'll just talk you through these seaweed bits. So they're essentially fine armature wire, but you could use galvanized fencing wire as well from any hardware shop. The really good thing about the armature wire is that it is soft, it is really easy to use, so it's not hard on your fingers at all. And I love it. And so I've just basically formed shapes, and then I've got some alfoil and tape, and then covered it with a runny mix of Easy 3D Flex and some sand. And so these are actually super durable. They look reedy, but they actually are really, really, really durable in terms of longevity, so they're quite hard. But like I say, because I have laid it down flat, it's not as secure as I would like it to be. So what I will do is, once I'm not going to touch it again, I will just plug a little bit of stone art into these bits. This one is fine, it's really secured very well, but these ones are already a little bit wobbly. So what I want to do is just get a little bit of the stone art clay and plug it into there, and I can always paint it with the yellow ochre, or put another little bit of easy 3D flex over the top of it just to camouflage it. So sometimes you need to problem solve, and of course part of the creative process is actually problem solving and creative decision making along the way as to how you want to do things. So you can see how some of the textural detail that I've got in there, and this is the other side ready to do his eye today. And of course I have a little bit of finishing off to do on this side. But I am really excited with how he's looking. I've had a lot of fun doing it and sharing it with you. And for those who are in Perth, I am going to be running a Seahorse workshop on the 9th of March, but I will let you know more details on the Facebook page very soon. Hey, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining Carol from Ladybird Creative Arts in Hamilton Hill here in beautiful WA, and Nicole from Three Hearts Art Studio in Mandurah. So, of course, both Nicole and Carol are certified Powertex trainers. So if you do live locally, it is, look them up and check out what they do. So both do beautiful workshops available here in WA. All right, let's get cracking. I'll put his little pillow back in underneath him, and we'll start creating, so we can have a little bit of demo fun. And I'll just go down to the art table, and we will just show a little bit more detail. All right, so you should be able to see him quite well now. I might just zoom in a little bit there. So, and I'm going to flip him over, and I'm going to show you how I created this eye. So, of course, today we are looking at adding elements. So we've already talked about the sort of seaweed vines. This is something, it's a technique that I use for a lot of different things. It's actually, I did it for the first time when I created my wearable art piece, which was called Luminous, and that had a lot of vines on it made in this way. So if you want to check out that my wearable art, you can actually find it at on the website at ashleyhayart.com. So you can check out under the wearable art section there some of a couple of the pieces that I've done with Powertex. All right, so we'll put him on his cushion. So the idea of that is so that these vines are stable, also so that I can put pressure on it without, worrying about any of these other elements. So again, it's just a little case of going, okay, what do I need to do to make this workable? Rosemary's just saying, it looks awesome. So Rosemary, pop the 9th of March in your diary. Hopefully you're not doing anything, and you can come along and join us for some seahorse fun. Okay, so I have a little bit of the stone art clay made up in the dark colour left. I have also some stone art clay in the original bronze colour, which is left over from when I've made it before. So you can really see the difference in those two colours. I am, just for those of you who are in Australia, obviously this dark bronze, it is limited time while stocks last that it's available. I love using it, and I know you will love it too. So if you have loved the bronze, you will have noticed that it is out of stock in Australia at the moment, but this dark bronze is available. I love the consistency. It is so nice to work with. So, but good news is in the next few months, we will have the original colour back in stock. So within the next sort of 3 months. So it takes a little while to get here, all the way from Belgium, but that is in process. So I've got some Powertex that I've already put out. So of course that is Powertex Universal Medium. And as I say, this is the dark bronze colour. It is the original bronze. It is available in your 500 grams still in Australia at the moment. All right, so I simply make a ball with that stone art clay. The benefit of using the stone art clay is it's not going to crack. It is going to stay how I actually put it down there. So I'm just going to paint some Powertex onto my form here. Doesn't matter if I get a little bit on that Easy 3D Flex, because I'll probably be joining more up to it anyway. And I'm just going to pop a little bit on the actual ball itself, just because I can. And then I'm just going to pop that in place there. I am going to put a little bit more Powertex on the top of that because I love it when the eyes are shiny. And if there's, and I will put some Easy Coat Glossy on it as well later on, so that it goes really nice and glassy looking. So those who know me know how much I love the Easy Coat Glossy. I use it for so many different things. So I'm just going to work this up in my fingers to warm it up. So sometimes what you'll find is your stone art clay, if it's been sitting in the container, like I've said many times before, the benefit of the stone art clay is that you can make up a large batch and it will keep in an airtight container. I usually also keep it sealed in plastic wrap and put a damp cloth into that container to keep it moist. But actually warming it up in your hands as well also sort of goes a long way. So I just want to see how that kind of looks. I'm just going to bring it down a little bit on the table here so I can look a bit closer. Make it thinner on these ends. So it's nice fat little sausage in the middle and then coming narrower at those ends. And then I will pop that onto there. So I'll just put a little bit of Powertex under there. So instead of putting it onto the 3D Flex, I'll put it on here so that it will act like a glue. So, which is awesome. So the clay itself has properties that will actually stick to, because it has the Powertex in it. It's a little bit hard to see. I'll hold it up in just a second. But it's a little bit hard to see because it's the black on black. So I want to make another one that's approximately the same size. So that's probably a little bit big. Hey, Jan, lovely to see you. Jan from Ginger's Wire Sculptures. Jan does some beautiful work. Endangered Species of Australia. And she uses Powertex to make some gorgeous animal skins. Okay, so I'm just squeezing that in to form an eye shape, essentially. I didn't actually put some Powertex on that bit, but that's not going to matter too much because, like I say, the clay also has Powertex Universal Medium in it, and it actually has an instant stick. It's just I do like to put a little bit more on. I just find it is a little bit better. Now what I'm doing is just squeezing that shape in around the eyeball there. Want that to come out there. Just have a close look so you can see. So I've basically just put that shape onto there. I'm following this line here, and it just seemed to naturally want to be sort of about there. So that is how I did the other eye, but you'll notice that when I put the 3D flex on that I lose a lot of that detail. So I might build another little bit of 3D flex up here. So I'm thinking it might be quite nice to continue the red along this ridge here and down, although I am loving these bits. So there are some nice bits there that I'm actually really liking. So that is a creative decision as to what I do here. But even maybe it will be enough to just put some little red balls of clay like I've done on here and put this sort of texture but in red across the top. So visually it feels like it's red across there, but it's not entirely red. The other thing that you can see is I need to resolve the colour of the clay here. So although I am going to be taking other colour onto it to finish it, I want it to feel like it's flowing in terms of the design. So you can see, feels like it's coming up here, but here it feels like it needs to come around a bit more with the colour. But I think even just taking a little bit more yellow ochre into here would be nice, and a little bit up around these edges where it's got the design of the I don't know what they're called, but you know, the bits that are like his mane on the seahorse. So you can see on this side what I'm talking about. So I've brought that yellow ochre in more so that it feels like it's flowing around. So this will all be yellow ochre up here, and then the red will come in underneath like a sort of shadow effect in under there. So, and then come up and we'll fill in here. And then I'm sort of thinking, you know, like I'll just continue the red all the way through here. So like you can see, I've already done on this side. But I think that yellow with the mane is actually really nice on this side. So I'd love to hear your feedback. Rosemary saying it looks awesome. So thank you, Rosemary, and thanks for dropping a comment and letting me know you're here. It's lovely that you're here and watching. And all right, so there we go. Okay, so now I quite like to just take a little bit more Powertex onto there. I'll just dry my brush off. So I have got a damp cloth here that I'm just drying that off with. So it's a little bit like having washed my brush, just squeezing the water out of it as well, and dry my hands off. Okay, so my brush is damp, and I'm just going to get a little bit more of the Powertex and pop it onto the top of that clay. And also around the edges where I'm going to pop the 3D flex. Not that I really need it there, but like I say, I just find, you know, putting that dark colour in to start is good. And then we can go from there. Nicole's just saying she loves the surface colours and patterns. So awesome, Nicole. Thanks for the feedback. So that's lovely. I've had a lot of fun with the 3D Flex doing those, of course. So if you do get a little bit of Powertex somewhere that you don't want it because it's on your fingers, the great thing is that while it is wet, you can just tidy it up with a little bit of a damp cloth as well. So I'm just going to clean up my fingers here. All right, so I want to make sure that excess clay is wrapped up well, because I definitely don't want that to dry out. I want to be able to use that again. And I have got some easy 3D Flex left that I did make up yesterday. So it is still soft enough to actually be using. There's actually 2 lots there of the yellow and quite a bit of the red. So I don't know that I'm going to need all of that to actually finish him off. So I'll be looking for something else to use it up on, because we can't be yes, Jan, that's it, a mane. So of course I was trying to find the word for it. Oh, don't you love it when you lose your words and it's so obvious? The mane. So this is his mane. So anyway, haha. All right, so what I have used to texture on the face to do these textures, which was a lot of fun, is I've just taken the ink out of a pen. And so I've actually got 2 sizes. This side's actually a bit broken, so I might need to do another one. It's just cracked on one edge, but it still works. And so instead of using a stencil or a stamp, I'm just using this. So it gives me a bigger circle on this side, smaller circle on this side. So it's actually really quite nice. So what I want to do is just shape in the shapes that I kind of need to finish off. So I can't really see very well what I'm doing, but anyway, it's all good. And then I just press that into there. Edges are important, so that's why I will roll them and sort of shape them. So I would ordinarily allow that Powertex that I've put on there to dry before I pop the Easy 3D Flex on, so that I'm not getting those black marks onto my Easy 3D Flex. All right, so now I've got that in there, I can actually create a little bit of texture. Like I say, loving this pen. And so I actually do like a bit of a double dip on some bits. And if I want to, I can then, you know, I can do something in the middle of some of these as well. So anything that makes a mark, you can basically use to create the texture. Just going to push these black bits in, because I can always add some more dimensional bits onto there. Woohoo! Let me just hold that up for you so you can see that. So that's how that is looking. So with this edge, I would be just really making sure that it feels like it's flowing onto the rest of that clay, but it will dry the same colour. So currently it's a little bit lighter, but it will dry to be a little bit darker. So again, I can just move that up onto there. So you can see the benefit of allowing that stone art to dry would be that it doesn't actually shift while I'm putting the Easy 3D Flex onto there. And you also notice that with the stone art, the ridge that I made for the eye was actually a little bit low, so that when I put the stone art on, it actually, when I put the Easy 3D Flex on like I'm doing now, it's adding another couple of mils onto the top of that form. Okay, so that's looking nice. And I really do recommend using your clay tools. So welcome, James. Thanks for watching. James is just saying one of these days I'll remember that you're on my Thursday night. So you can always watch the replay, James. But if you have any questions along the way, it's great to be on a live. So there we go. So that is looking good. And so the 3D Flex and the stone art basically do different jobs. So like I was saying earlier, the stone art is actually going to dry hard, and how you put it down is how it will actually end up staying. Whereas the 3D Flex gets these amazing cracks, and it's so nice. So I'm just going to follow that texture around. So I've got a little bit of that black on the 3D Flex, but like I say, I can always put a little bit more 3D Flex around that edge. So much fun. Don't think I'll try and do too much there. I think I'll probably put a little bit more just along that edge to sort that out. So I'll just open that up a little bit more, get some more black on there. Okay, so happy days. A little bit more texture in here. And definitely want some more in through here. Lovely. So I would then continue the red around in here. So I'd work out where I want the edge of that yellow to go. So we'll do that quickly now. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm just getting a nice line that I can actually bring that red up to, so that the transition between the red and the yellow actually is, you know, nice. And again, I can use that clay tool just on that edge to just get it to where I want it to be. Get a nice edge happening there. And then I can pop my texture onto that edge as well. Nice. Looking good. All right, so then we'll get a little bit of the red, and I'll show you just taking that red in. So it's exactly the same. Anne's just saying, amazing how just adding the eye gives you your seahorse character. Absolutely, 100%. And so, you know, like, this is the exciting bit. This is the reward for effort. So I want a little bit of a triangle for in here. So I'm just going to basically make a little bit of a triangle-y shape, and I want it to come around onto there as well. So I can just make that up more or less, and then I just can push that onto, wants to stick onto my fingers. I obviously, so if you do find your 3D flex is a little bit sticky, you just need to add a little bit more powder. So I obviously need to add a little bit more 3D flex to this mix. So I've got a nice edge happening there, and it's joining on quite nicely to that other bit. And then again, I want to make a similar shape here. So I can kind of just squeeze that down and around. And then, of course, you will remember from a few weeks ago when I showed you the other side of the seahorse, when I was doing this part of the body, I actually mixed the yellow 3D flex clay with the red clay, and I did pattern sort of lines with the red and the sort of more orangey colour coming down into here. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that away. That little bit that I've taken away, I'm going to pop in here. And I'm just pressing it down so that all of those edges are joining in, and it's a nice thickness for me to then take the texture into. I need a little bit more here. Oh, nothing like dropping it. Probably not that much. Just going to flatten a bit. A little bit more in there. That's a bit of fun. And I'm just going to take that clay tool in under there, so I can see I need just a little bit of easy 3D flex in there, so I can just kind of push that in because it's all still wet there. And I want a little bit here just so that it goes down onto this edge here. Can't really see what I'm doing. I'll lift it up. Okay, so that is ready now for a little bit of texture. And you can see I've got a nice edge here to bring a bit of the orangey clay up onto. And so that will be great. But I can just basically take some texture into this now. So what you want to be careful of is you want to be careful that, hang on, creating can't talk. What you want to be careful of is, what's I going to say? Oh, I know, don't put too much easy 3D flex on at a time, otherwise it will dry and you won't get really nice stamped texture. So you want to put enough on that, you know, like you can see how much I've got on there, so that you get a nice sort of drift of the clay. So I'm sort of joining this pattern here where it goes through the boning of the seahorse up onto that red texture. There's another one here. It's just so malleable. So, you know, I don't mind those extra sort of little textured marks. In fact, if I wanted to, I could actually emphasize those so that it's got, you know, a little bit more turn and movement in the neck. So it's a bit more flared. So let's just do that. So you can see what I've done there. So it's a little bit of a different texture. So it's like the mane up here, except we've got, I'll bring that back down there. It's just creative decision making along the way as well, sort of what you like, what works for you. But you can see again what I'm doing is I'm using this edge. This would also be a lovely edge to use. Let's try it. So see how it's got this sort of ripple effect. So that's actually, you know, quite nice. Probably not that way and not that direction. I'd probably want it to be so that it is, if I go that way, I think it would be this way. Yep. So it's getting that fanned. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. So see that? So anything that will make a mark, it's just awesome. And applying different pressure. So I'm not applying the same pressure all over. I'm actually applying different pressure to that. Look at that. Isn't that yummy? Look at that texture. So a lot of fun. I'm just going to do that there. I'm going to take a little bit into there. So there we have it. That is our seahorse, adding the eye in. And then, like I say, I'll probably, once that has dried, I'll actually take another little layer of 3D flex across the top of his eye here, just to, you know, get rid of that black on that edge, and also just to give it another additional layer for his eyelid. So I will finish this off through the week. So like I say, I'm going to mix a mix of the red Easy 3D Flex and the yellow Easy 3D Flex to make some orange sections, and so that we get a little bit of a two-tone through here. And then I'm actually going to spray it all with Vista so that it, you know, isn't so single toned, and that will be lovely. So I will explain a little bit more about that next week. I'm also thinking that here, I do love how this is looking, but I'm actually thinking, oh, it might be quite nice to take some paper deco off of here so that it's got that sort of fin texture that the seahorses have on their beautiful, you know, fins. So if I was making another one, I could make a 3-dimensional fin coming out this way as well. So if I was going to do that, and same on the other side, what I would need to do is I would need to do most of the Easy 3D Flex, leave a little gap that I'm going to join that fin into, and then put the fin in, and then bring the Easy 3D Flex around it once it's actually up on a stand, so that I can work it in. Okay, so the last thing that I thought I would mention is what I am going to use on here is actually some colour tricks, and I will probably use the olive green colour. So just move him out of the way. Hang on. Okay, there we go. So I've got these are colour samples of some of the colour tricks. So this is the olive green colour that I'm thinking I might put on here. And I'll probably also do his eye with whatever colour I use on there. I'll use on his eye, and I'll probably also use highlighting on his little fins as well. So that's actually the olive green. I actually really like that. This is the exterior green in the Powertex. So the olive green is the colour tricks. This is the exterior green. This is actually the new Terra Green, whereas this one here is the old Terra Green. So you can see that if you love the old Terra Green, a good option to get as close as you can to the old Terra Green is this is the new one. It's not too bad. It's not as luminous. I do love the olive green. So there you have it. And plus the olive green is actually cheaper than the Terra Green. So another good reason to try that. This one is, so you can see there's some really beautiful colours in the metallic range. So these are all available from Powertex Art Supplies. They're all pigments that are available. So if you're in Australia, of course, you can get them online at powertex.com.au. Jan's just saying, lovely watching this one, and Anne's enjoying the colour samples. So this one here is actually Magic Violet. This one is the Flashing Cobalt. Aren't they stunning? So they are beautiful options. I'm thinking I might do a seahorse in blues as well, and then I would definitely bring these colours in. These are your lighter ones. So this is your flashing blue, and this is your blue-green. Look at those. Isn't that blue-green just lovely? It's such a beautiful turquoise colour. And then these are, so this is the turquoise in the Powertex. So if you compare that to the blue-green, you know, the turquoise, you can't quite see it, but the turquoise, the difference with the Powertex is they've got that chameleon sort of effect. So depending on the light, the actual effect of the colour shimmers. So you can see how that turquoise colour is changing as I angle it, and it gets shade and shadows on it. So this is the turquoise, this is the royal blue, this is the super violet, and this is the golden orange. So they are all power effects. And like I say, they have that chameleon effect where when you turn them, you get that different colour. So once you've got your sculpture to the point where you know, you're wanting to do a little bit more and just finish him off, then the bisters, the colour tricks, your power colours, which are your matte pigments, are awesome for painting back into whatever you have done. But first, you want to make sure that you've got all your texture and your tones sort of working correctly. So like I said earlier, I want to take some more yellow around some of this because I just feel like this bit here needs to continue along that mane a little bit further. I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly like the other side, but I am loving how this mane is looking on this side. And what I was thinking was that if the light is coming down onto it, then of course it's going to be lighter on that top edge and then darker on the under edge, which is why I put the red underneath and the yellow on the top. So especially, you know, on his tail there. So that's going to create some light and shade when I take the bisters into it. So very exciting times. I am loving this, and I am going to be doing a few different options. I'll be looking at a few different options of stands for you as well. So, of course, him on a beautiful coral reef stand would just be gorgeous. But I'm just going to share a couple of basic options with you next week. So just coming up next week, so what we are looking at is I will be showing you the finished seahorse. I might do some finishes with you, but I will definitely be looking at stand options as well. So if you have enjoyed what you've seen here today, I have got online courses, and you'll find them at ashleyhayartacademy.com, and you'll find my art on there too, just under the art section. I am this year going to add some new courses, so pretty excited about that coming up and doing a bit of filming. And don't forget that if you have loved today, please leave a comment. Let me know what you're creating this weekend. So maybe you could drop that comment now. What are you going to do this weekend? So what are you working on? And hopefully I've inspired you to get into your art room or into your studio space and get cracking with a bit of beautiful texture into your artwork. So if you would like to follow me, the best place to do that is on YouTube, because you can subscribe to the channel and you will get notifications that I'm live. So that might help you, James, if you get those notifications. And then, of course, you can shop Powertex as well at powertex.com.au and connect with me on Facebook personally at Ashley Hay Art on Facebook and Instagram. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. So it has been wonderful being here with you again this week. I hope that you have really enjoyed this session. I have enjoyed sharing with you again. Jan is working on a horse and planning 4 workshops. Wow, awesome. I look forward to seeing those, Jan, and catching up with you again soon. So everyone, have a wonderful creative weekend. Let me know what you're making, and be sure to post it in the Powertex Australia Creative Hub on Facebook, which is where you can connect, create, and share with us. So any questions that you have as well, you can post them here, or you can post them in the group and someone is sure to answer. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you again next week for some more Friday Live fun. Ciao, everyone.